now entering into the TLV Sports Talk Show broadcast. Taking life's visions, where we talk sports, we talk life, we make you visible with your main man, Randy B. Now join us in the chat room. Yeah, boy, you know what time it is. It's a TLV Sports Talk Show where we talk sports, we talk life, we make you visible. Today we got, that's right, not a guest, but hey, he's a visitor that's coming on the air quite frequently. Bruce Deckert, the author, publisher, editor of Today Magazine up in the Connecticut area. We don't want you to go nowhere. This is the TLV Sports Talk Show where we talk sports, we talk life, we make you visible. Today's broadcast, is brought to you by Nike Basketball Camps, Nike Basketball Shooting Camp. And we invite you to come on out at Nike Basketball Shooting Camp, July 19th to the 23rd. There's the link on there with the HTTP www.USS Sports Camps. Write that down. We'll keep it on there for a while for you to log into it. And you can check it out. It's July 19th to the 23rd for the date and prices. This camp is 1 week long. I'm telling you, it's very extensive, very hard, but with a lot of fun. The kids love it. They go home tired, exhausted, and they come back the next day looking for more learning process and how to play the game the right way. It's a development camp where we have over 25 development skills for the whole week. Plus, we have a lot of fun. And we have parachutes for the kids, for agility ropes and agility ladders. You name it all. We got it all because we want the kids to get in shape and to have an understanding of how to play the game the proper way. So it's Nike Basketball Shooting Camp. That's July 19th to the 23rd. It's at Riverwinds Community Center in West Deptford, New Jersey. Don't pass this up because I tell you, we got about 33 kids that signed up already, and we're looking to get quite a turnout. So it's unlimited right now, and we know things are going to turn around and get even better in the month of July. There's no restrictions, but we do follow CDC guidelines as far as COVID-19. But right now, everything seems to be go, and we're happy about that. And it's going to get even better. So having said all that, Nike Basketball Shooting Camp, July 19th to the 23rd. That's right. You see the link and the log on there. Log on for that camp. And your ages are from 8 to 17. And your kids, your campus will be it's all boys, all male camp. And there is on the website, there is a camp for the girls for July 19th to the 23rd also. So check that out. Check us out. And your kids will be a happy camper this year. That's right, for sure. But hey, listen, we have Bruce Deckert, the author, publisher, editor, Today Magazine. Welcome to the broadcast, Bruce. How you doing, big guy?
Thank you, Randy. Thank you. I really appreciate the invite to come back and continue our conversation. Thanks very much.
Yes. Well, we left off the last time. I don't quite remember, but I believe we were talking about the different events that you had as far as what took place throughout the different months with your magazine. And so I noticed that you have something different on the menu there. And we're going to crank up a little bit of music here. So talk to us about this particular this site here that we're looking at here now. All right, that's Today Magazine right there. Right, that's your homepage.
This is the homepage for Today Magazine. Yes, indeed, we are monthly magazine. We have two news vehicles. We have a monthly magazine, and we have our 24/7 news site that we can publish, any day of the week, anytime in between the monthly magazines. And that's our Today Magazine online site. And we cover the heart of the Farmington Valley. The Farmington Valley is a distinct geographic area here in Greater Hartford, Connecticut. Hartford is the capital, pretty much right in the center of the state. The Farmington Valley, it's basically 5 core towns just west of Hartford, and we're looking to, again, we're covering the heart of the valley, and we're looking to report the underreported upside of the Farmington Valley community. That's one of our goals journalistically.
Well, I see here also, Bruce, that you have, is this a different town that you're located in now? Granbury? Were you always in Granby? I know you was in Simsbury, Farmington, Abington.
Yeah, so those are the 5 core towns in the valley: Avon, Canton, Farmington, Granby, and Simsbury. So we're based in Simsbury, but we cover the entire Farmington Valley.
Wow. So when you first started your magazine, was it always these 5 towns, or was
No? Good question and good memory. Right. So when we launched in our first publication was in October of 2018. And at that time, we focused on Canton. So the name of the magazine was Canton Today. Then we branched out after a few months to include Avon and Simsbury. So then it was Avon, Canton, and Simsbury. So you are remembering correctly. And then after that, we branched out. It really made sense to cover the entire valley because that's the distinct geographic area. And so then we branched out to include Granby and Farmington.
Wow. Now, how many years or how many months apart was that from the beginning up until when you did the expansion?
So we launched Canton Today in October of 2018. And the reason we began in Canton is it made sense. Canton is one of the smaller towns in the valley. So in terms of the initial expense of the printing and mailing and so forth, it made sense to start small and then build out. So we started in October 2018 in Canton. Then in April, we expanded to include Avon and Simsbury. So then it was Avon, Canton, and Simsbury. And then in July of 2020, so just this past July, we then expanded to cover the entire Farmington Valley.
Wow. So what is the latest that you're doing now as far as well, let's can you see that screen? This is your Facebook page here, right?
I can show you a
I'm going to share your Facebook page here.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here.
While you're pulling that up, I can show one of our recent cover stories. This is that's our contact page.
Yes. Can you see this page here?
I can see it. Yep. Yes.
It says today.
Right.
Right. All right. Now, what's Taking a Hike? What is that? That's from the April edition. What is that?
So Take a Hike is our May cover story, actually. Take a Hike is the name of our May cover story. It focuses on the hiking trails here in the Farmington Valley. There's some amazing open space here in this part of Connecticut. And there are a number of state parks and town parks. And so we took a look at some of those hiking trails with the idea of, spring is here, the summer's about to begin, kind of give people an idea of, hey, here's some really amazing trails that you can go check out this spring and this summer. So, yeah, so that was there's some great photography in that issue, and basically asked a number of local leaders and some residents in the area, what do you see as the benefits of hiking? And then what are some of your favorite hikes here in the Farmington Valley? So it was a fun issue.
Wow. Okay, now we have here Mr. Abraham Lincoln shaking the hands of, is this some graduates here? Award-winning? Abe Lincoln, reenactor, grateful for the journey. What is that all about?
Yeah, I'm not seeing that on the screen, but that's that's Abe Lincoln was our April issue. So that's quite a powerful story. A private school teacher here in the area. He lives in Canton. He has been portraying Abraham Lincoln since about 2005, and has become really well known. So from 2011 to 2015, that was the 150th anniversary of the Civil War, and the governor appointed this gentleman. His name is Howard Wright. Appointed him so that whenever Connecticut, during that called the sesquicentennial, the 150th anniversary of the Civil War, whenever Connecticut as a state needed Lincoln to be portrayed during their historical commemoration of it, this is the guy they brought in. And so he's become quite well known, and I'm looking forward to seeing him. I have not seen him portray Lincoln yet, but from what people say, it's just riveting. He does his Kentucky twang, the Kentucky accent, and he utilizes all of Lincoln's own words. It's Lincoln's speeches, Lincoln's letters. Fascinating story. He said one of the things he said is he didn't want to read what people necessarily wrote about Lincoln. He wanted to go right to the source itself. He wanted to, present Lincoln in Lincoln's own words. So it's a powerful story.
Wow. Trying to pull up some here on your screen share here. On my screen share, something that's different here. Screen shares and I don't know. Can you see that on your screen share? Yeah, you can see that. Yes. All right, let's go back here so we can scroll it and get it on full layout here. That's the full layout. Talk to us a little bit about what's going on here.
So these magazine covers are from when we focused on the three towns, when we expanded from Canton to Avon and Canton and Simsbury. And the one top left there, Dream Memorial.
Yes.
We've spoken about this before, Randy, but it certainly bears a further discussion.
Yes.
This is a little known fact. I believe it's still little known when it comes to a national understanding of Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. spent 2 summers working right here in Simsbury in the Farmington Valley when he was in college. He was a student at Morehouse College in Atlanta. That's where he grew up. And he came up with a number of fellow students, about 100 students from his college. They came up here together. It was their summer job, working up here to earn money to pay for their college tuition. They worked up here. They went to church up here. They visited restaurants. For Martin Luther King Jr., it was his very first time out of the segregated South. This was in 1944 and 1947. And so he would write home to his parents those summers, and he would talk about how he was so pleasantly surprised that he and his friends who were African-American were able to sit in the same places in a restaurant as Caucasian people and be in the same room. There was no segregation, of course, up here in Connecticut. And this had a profound impact based on his letters that he wrote home, on his view of civil rights, racial equity, and really, it's just quite an amazing story. And also, wow. So after he graduated from Morehouse College, he went to seminary. And on his seminary application, he wrote that the first time he sensed his call to ministry to become a pastor was the first summer he was up here in Simsbury.
Wow, what a foundation. Beautiful. So let's talk about our vision. At Today Magazine, our goal is to inform and enhance the Farmington Valley community, recording the Valley's unreported upside and giving advertisers a powerful platform for boosting their brand. So what are some of the things that you report from your magazine?
So you can see some of the covers there. Here's one. This was from this past fall. This is a powerful story. You can see this gentleman lost his leg when he was 11 years old, and he ended up becoming an accomplished athlete. His name is Dana Albright. I used the headline Cloud Walker, and he refers to himself as a crutch walker because that's how he gets around now. He needs crutches because he had a prosthetic for many years and then had to get rid of the prosthetic leg because it was causing him arthritic issues. And so this gentleman, Dana Albright, he became the captain of his high school wrestling team. He swam competitively. He became the captain of his college swim team. And then he swam in 2 Paralympics. He competed in which the Paralympics are held in conjunction with the Olympics every 4 years. So he became quite an accomplished athlete. And this story, he hiked the presidential range, mountain range in the White Mountains in New Hampshire, 8 4,000-foot plus peaks. He and a couple of buddies. He is hiking this mountain range on crutches, Randy, and it's just a remarkable story. And the goal, it was a fundraising goal. He was looking to raise funds for a couple of disability organizations that have been meaningful to him and that have helped him, and he wanted to give back to them. So that's another example of one of the stories that we cover. Again, my goal, one of my goals is to report and record the underreported upside of the Valley community, because I think there's, just about every other media outlet, whether it's TV news, radio, daily newspapers, they're covering the crime and the scandals and the political bickering at a national level and all that stuff. I think everybody's covering that. So we don't need to cover that stuff. I want to cover, meaningful stories that hopefully move, hopefully move the community forward constructively. That's the goal.
That's a wonderful thing, because we need more positive facts. We need more human touching as far as what's going on in the human race. We need less politicized narratives, but we need narratives that really touch people's lives and very uplifting and very informative. And I believe that truthfully you're ahead of your time, because we foresee, seriously, we foresee a lot of this, what you're doing right now, coming to mainstream media as the other mainstream media that has been reporting a lot of what they call fake news and so forth and so on is coming down, because let's face it, people want to see and want to hear good positive things, and we certainly aren't getting a lot of that. If you have your local news, they might show you one beautiful story once a week, you know what I mean? But the rest of it is gunshots and drugs and auto accidents and, all that crazy stuff that goes on in the world. And what this does is really puts a lot of fear in a lot of people as far as, hearing what you hear constantly bombards the mind and bombards the spirit. So we need more people like you and more organizations and more brands to really put out information and good stories, good, wholesome, clean stories. And I think people are looking forward to this because of what's taken place in these past few months here in America. And people are tired of it. They want to hear good things. And you can't blame them, And so when I say I think you're ahead of your time, I know you are, because you started out in one little town or one big town, and now you're in how many towns?
5 core towns in the Farmington Valley.
5. So you feel what I'm saying? That's no coincidence. I mean that's expansion with a purpose, and so it's a wonderful thing and what you're doing. And give us another. We have time here for another a beautiful heads up story, if you can think of one that comes to mind.
Sure. Here's one. So now this is an example of I want to kind of add to what I mentioned about looking to report the underreported upside, we are covering meaningful news. In other words, when something difficult happens in someone's life, there is no question that's news. You know, I mean, if someone passes away, that's obviously a significant impact in that family, in that community. But I think what happens is when you hear the TV news and the radio news, it seems they always lead. You know, there was another homicide today, and then there was this crime, and there was this, you know, all these COVID statistics and all this kind of stuff. It does impact. I just had a conversation the other day, this past week, with a local business owner, and he was saying that he doesn't watch the TV news anymore. He said it just gets him down too much, and the negativity and so forth. And so again, you know, when difficult things happen, that is news, but that isn't all the news that's going on in our lives. You know, there's so many good stories and great stories here in the Farmington Valley, in Connecticut, across the country. We're never going to run out of stories to tell. And so as an example, you don't get much more heavy duty a topic than a world war, right? So this was a cover story on World War II redux. This was this past summer, August 2020, was the 75th anniversary of the final World War II triumph. That was August of 1945 was when World War II ended. And so you don't get much more heavy duty than covering a world war. You know, that's a heavy duty topic, of course. And you can see the headline, from sunken hopes. This was an image of Pearl Harbor, to sacrificial victory. And below that, it was just kind of a split screen, so to speak, a split page. Pearl Harbor, and then a monument that listed so many of the soldiers who sacrificed their lives to make a difference, and who stepped up as part of that greatest generation to really deliver the world from these threats that were posed at that time during World War II. And so we looked at World War II from the perspective of local World War II heroes. So you can see down here, it says, we honor local World War II heroes whose sacrifice helped the U.S. celebrate 75 years ago. So we looked at several of their stories, and again, just some powerful stories there.
Yeah, that's so true. We want to thank Brian McPherson Jr. for coming on the air and watching. And we're getting a little feedback there from you. You know, because people are watching the TLV Sports Talk Show. As we talk sports, we talk life, we make you visible. And certainly that cover story there that you have right there, people need to know their roots. And not only that, we can relate to what's taking place right now to what took place in 1944, 45. And it's very relative. And it goes back again to where people are tired of hearing those things that are so very, very negative in our society today. And they're not even watching your local news anymore. I mean, for the most part, people are not watching CNN like they were. They had a tremendous drop. MSNBC, tremendous. When I say, I'm talking about in the millions, like 50, 60 million. And people have turned Fox off too also. And so they're watching other One American News. They're watching Right Side broadcast. They're watching shucks, the name just escapes me. Newsmax. They're watching Newsmax, and not because it's politicized or anything, because it's neutral, and they're bringing across a good narrative, and people are just tired of hearing it. In other words, people know that they've been deceived through the media for so many years because they're the Operation Mockingbird. So once again, folks like you. When I say like you, editor, publisher, your author, Today Magazine, it's going to be turned around. You're going to see more and more upcoming news media, social media. It's going to be totally different. It's a reset. And again, you're ahead of your time. you're rolling. Or should I say you're in time, and you're right on time. You know what I mean?
I hope
So,
so.
I know so. So you can see the expansion of your territories. I mean, you started out with one, and now the areas that you're covering. Eventually the whole state of Connecticut. Who knows what could take place? You could go national. You know, that would be a wonderful thing, and I like to see that happen too. Today Magazine, Bruce Deckard. You see it right here. He's that guy. He's the author. He's a publisher. He's the editor of Today Magazine up in Connecticut, and he's doing wonderful things for his community. What's the up and coming event that you're having, Bruce? Anything for the summer or this fall?
So our upcoming edition, the June edition, is going to focus on a local farm here that's been an institution here in the Farm to Valley for centuries. It's a family that began farming, believe it or not, in the late 1600s here in West Simsbury. So you're talking, 400 plus years, quite a long run, as farmers. And so I grew up in New Jersey, and New Jersey, of course, is known as the Garden State. And so I think Jersey gets a bad rap sometimes because people will drive through on the Turnpike and the Parkway, and they'll see the congestion, they'll see some of the industry and so forth, and Jersey will get a bad rap. Jersey has some great open space if you go out west, south, northwest. But where I grew up, it was closer to the New York metropolitan area, so you had to drive a little farther to get open space. In this part of Connecticut, it's really kind of this blend of a suburban and still a very rural ambiance. And so there are many, many working farms right here in the Farm to Valley. And so we have, we're calling it our Heart of the Farm recurring feature. So we're focusing on a local farm called Toll Meadow Farm. And they sell ice cream. People have come for years to buy their ice cream. They have a if some of our listeners are familiar with CSA, it's called Community Supported Agriculture. People can, so Toll Meadow Farm does this CSA program where people can sign up. They pay a certain amount per month. They go to the farm and they get fresh fruit, fresh vegetables typically, and I guess fresh fruit, whatever they're growing. And it's just a great program, and a number of farms here in Connecticut, and I believe nationwide, have this CSA program. So yeah, so it is it's a neat blend here, where there's kind of this suburban and yet this rural, still this rural sense of things.
Yeah, that's wonderful, man. People really, they really need to know how to grow their own food for one thing, and they need to eat fresh fruits and fresh vegetables. And so that's a beautiful thing. And, coming from the Garden State, which is no longer the Garden State, you can call it the high-tech state if you choose to. But it was a time when it was a lot of farms, and the government actually, you could say, they forced the farmer out. They paid him off to go other places, or they're growing what is it? Sod, not sod, but what's the other one that they grow? Soybean. They grow soybean as an additive. If you look around, I know right here in Maryland, they have a lot of soybean farms for acres and acres, and that's how they earn their living. And so the farmers in New Jersey, you take the town of Willingboro, that used to be 3 big farms at one time. It was Levittown, and then they changed the name to Willingboro because it was too confusing. You had Levittown, PA, Levittown, New York, and Levittown, New Jersey. So it was just too confusing. So they called it Willingboro, but it was composed of 3 large farms. Just think a large community like Willingboro was all farmland. And so that's just an example, so to have fresh fruit and to have farms, I think it's a wonderful thing that what you're doing, and the people need to know that. Well, you've been listening and you've been watching Bruce Deckard from Today Magazine. Yeah, he's my brother from another mother, and it's always good to have you on the air. We want to remind everybody again, Go to Nike Basketball Shooting Camp, July 19th to the 23rd at West Deptford, New Jersey. Riverwinds Community Center. Sign your camper up, ages 8 through 17. You're going to have a blast. We can't wait for this to take place because these kids have been locked down, quarantined for months, and it's not right. It's not right. The kids need freedom as well as adults, but especially with the up-and-coming adults of America, the youth. Just think what's going to be on their little minds for the rest of their lives, the things that they've gone through these past months. And so we want them to have a good time. We want them to have some learning how to play the game of basketball. Most of all, have some fun and work hard and, be responsible, be accountable. And that's what we teach at Nike Basketball Shooting Camp, July 19th to the 23rd. You can click on the USSSportsCamps.com, basketball, Nike Basketball Camp, Riverwinds Community Center. You can get your date and you can get the prices. That's Monday through Friday. Come on out and your camper will have a ball. Well, we just want to thank once again, Bruce Deckert, author, publisher, editor of Today Magazine. Got any final words before we sign off, Bruce?
Thanks, Randy. Yeah, what I'd like to do is give a quick shout out to my son and daughter. So you can see wearing this NCAA soccer hat. My daughter was an accomplished soccer player. She played. She was a first team small college All-American. Her college, Messiah College in Pennsylvania, went to the national championship game her senior year. And so I just wanted to, this is really again, giving a shout out to her. And then my son also was an accomplished athlete. He was all conference in soccer and baseball in high school. And he now serves in the Coast Guard. And so you can see the Coast Guard insignia there. This shirt is a gift from him. So, so I just want to give a quick shout out to them. I love them so much, and just say hello to them and thank everyone for for tuning in and listening to this conversation. I appreciate it. And
wonderful. That's a good dad, folks. That's a good dad. All right, he loves his kids. I know his kids love him. That's a good thing to do, and that's an example right there. And so, it's Today Magazine, and do your due diligence. Go on Google, seek out Today Magazine in Connecticut with Bruce Deckert. Don't delay and subscribe. You can subscribe to the magazine, and we'll show you how to make contact through the website there, and they'll send that magazine out to you. Is that correct, Bruce?
You can subscribe to our digital news. Yes, so you can subscribe to at the top of every page of the website. There's a button you can click to subscribe to news, and then we'll send you our digital magazine, and we also send you our Today Magazine online stories via email. So definitely, you can certainly do that. That'd be great.
Wonderful. We look forward to everybody doing that and hearing some good news and some good information. Some positive information, something that's not going to stress you out. We got enough stress on us right now, but I say to you, don't be stressful, be peaceful, because everything's going to work out all right. Everything is going to and has and will be and is working out. So just be encouraged. The best is yet to come. You got to believe that. The gas prices will always be up to $3, $4 a gallon. It's going to go back down to where it was. You're going to see a lot of energy, good things in energy. You're going to see just some wonderful things that's going to take place. Patents that's going to come out that has been held back for so many years, where people will be cured and healed of different diseases, prosthetics and things that help the human being, where if you have one leg and now you can stand on a bionic leg. And it's out there. It's not a movie where, the bionic woman, bionic man, by and by, they have it, but it's just been held back from the American people and from the world. But it's going to be released. You'll see. So I want to encourage everybody, and thank everybody for watching the TLV Sports Talk Show. Once again, we want to thank you, Bruce Deckert, for coming on the air. And we're going to see you soon, and we're going to hear some greater things when you come back on again, right?
Thank you, Randy. Thanks for
all right. So everybody know the meantime, in between time. Everybody knows the deal. That's right. We off like a dirty shirt. Put it in the book.